I just moved the table. I totally did. Sheesh. You remember when it used to be a professional show?
Yep. I do remember that.
How long ago was that?
A long time ago.
What happened to us?
Oh, well, we haven't done one for a long time.
We really haven't. Like, I guess the flame went out for Joey Blaze.
Shit happens, I guess.
You get old. Time moves on. There's better people out there at the game. Happens. You just sit back and have a drink and you watch. Because there's a whole lot of great action going on right now. As soon as I get this damn bottle open, there we go. You can tell I'm right in preseason mode.
Not the best angle, but here we are.
You know, usually when we do these kind of shows, they're Wild West anyways, at the old times. You know, like back in the day when we would just sit down and talk. We do have a set, but I don't think I can turn that, can I?
No.
No? Okay. Yeah, under construction. Let's just say that. We're going to bring you something bigger and better next week.
What's up, Skinny?
So, Skinny, hey, anybody want to call in tonight? Blunt Talk, we're back. We're talking flag football because we haven't talked flag football all year. You got to think, what is this, episode 8
on the live
this year?
stream, that's for sure.
No, like we did a Washington County show back in the spring. We did some Blunt Talks in between.
Yeah.
But we've been both busy. You've been coaching, I've been working. We've been all over the place. Literally, both of us been all over the place.
Yeah.
And that's just outside of flag football. Like, it's gotten harder and harder to keep doing what we've been doing for the last 5.
Trey said he gonna call in.
Trey says he might call in. Hey, I want to talk anything. This is open forum. This is about the upcoming fall season, but I'm also down to talk what's happened this year. Because I haven't given any perspective. All I've done is call games and just say bye. That's it. See you all next time I'm doing a game.
Yeah.
What's on my mind? What is on my mind? Who is the best out there? What are my early favorites for nationals? What's the next tournament coming up? Rhode Island. There was speculation. I heard Clash of York might try to get something going again. I hope so, because I'll be honest with you. I've been hearing that, but I don't know any former status yet. There was some talk. I hope to see it happen because that community up there does deserve to have some sort of tournament. They love 9-man. Let's talk about everything this year. If anybody want to call in, you see it down there, just like old times, hit it. We'll go from there. Ross.
What?
How's your 2022 been?
Not too bad.
Not too bad?
Not too bad.
What are you doing? Just busy coaching? You're
We
busy
go
all
the way
over.
back to 2022.
Beginning of the year. Well, you got to remember, we didn't really do anything for nationals either. I was supposed to go down, but I had my issues going down.
Well,
You had something bigger going on. Yeah. Number 3, congratulations if not said already.
Final installment.
The end of the trilogy.
Yeah.
A lot of guys have been having kids in 3s lately, I noticed.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing I noticed of some of the people I know.
Yeah. Just 2 boys, 1 girl, and everything.
I'm behind everybody right now. I'm still sitting. I'm not on the scoreboard yet. You know, we're always good at the second half comebacks. It's fucking cringy. Move on. Back to flag football. First tournament of the year, XFFL. You remember that? When you went up there to New Jersey? Back in April?
I do.
What a weekend that was. First ever tournament up in that region. The weather was...
Wet.
Yeah. And...
Food was banging up.
Yeah, I heard the food was on point.
That concession stand was dope as fuck.
And also the competition was on point too that weekend. We got a chance to see a lot of teams come out to the forefront. Elite Rebels had an historic run that weekend. It was the first time a DMV region team had came in and won a tournament outside of the region in the A bracket, going all the way back to 2018. And for the Elite Rebels, that has been their biggest highlight circuit-wise this season. We got more to say on them next week because we got rankings coming. Yeah. And it's not my personal opinion rankings. It's not the old power rankings. It's about achievement, merit, and everything else. It's what you've done this year, but weighed out in a way to give certain things more points than others. Like an A bracket game being worth more than a B game, being worth more than a elite game, being worth more than an open bracket game, or the same, etc. We'll explain a little bit more in detail over the next week because I'm going to be busy putting out stuff for it. This is going to be a fun one, though, next week. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be back in our normal set.
Cherry blazes that.
I'm looking forward to it, man. That's going to be fun. But the Elite Rebels, like, they had a great run in that tournament. We talk about it. They went out there. They beat the Bulldogs. They beat the Lions.
Yeah.
I might be missing some teams, so forgive me if I don't mention them offhand. And, you know, that tournament was also the one where we got a chance to see TMU come out and really shine. Who stood out to you the most looking back at that, Ross? Like, because I remember you went through a wild time trying to get up there, the weather and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
So it might be a little blurry. I can imagine all that travel because you went straight down there that Saturday morning, too.
Going back to that one, I would say... I don't fucking remember.
It's been a while for you. We'll talk a little more next week on that. Beat Punishers twice, Jamie has. Okay. That was in the semifinal and on Saturday.
Yeah, Punishers were...
It'll come back to me. I got my notes on me and else other places.
Very good.
They what?
Huh?
We'll talk more next week. I know you got a lot to say.
Yeah, memory's coming back now as I think about it. Hold on.
I got to get your memory jogging. This man's been busy, guys. Give him time. He's old now, and he's got a third child here, along with the fourth one. Is he on the floor right now?
Yeah,
There he is.
He's right here by my damn feet.
Look at old dog there, the first one.
The first one.
But, like,
The oldest.
that's a
child.
Buffalo? Nah, no Buffalo. It's a reverse angle, Trey.
Yeah, it's backwards.
I hate the way I look on camera right now. Sheesh. I'm in preseason mode. You can tell. This is the back
Little
end.
fuzzy. You probably should have wiped the screen down or something before you went live.
You know what? I probably should have. You're right on that. I probably should have also, like... There we go. We're better off now. It's whatever to me. I'm just here to talk. But, you know, XFL, Elite Rebels came out and won that. Long Island Ducks were the winners as well. OC, I actually got a chance to go to a tournament after you did.
Yeah, Rebels were real good in that tournament.
Yeah, they were on fire. Like, that was, honestly...
They're starting to come back to me now.
Yeah, you remember. It's all coming
TJ
back to me.
Olsen had all fucking day to throw.
He did. That line was very deep between... Didn't he have some of the Baez guys on the line along with the WAC Rebels linemen?
Yeah.
And Fred and Sid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that team was very loaded, if I do recall. That was probably one of the best teams to come out of this region in the A tournament the last few years. And for the Elite Rebels, I had a personal chance to see them, as mentioned a few times myself. OC is when I saw them a couple weeks later. They had very close games for that tournament for the most part with Scorpions and the Bulldogs. Dream, they ended up getting a win over twice. But both were very competitive games between those two teams. They ended up playing them as well at Maffle, where they ended up second place in that league, falling short to PME in the championship. Elite Rebels, one of the best teams in the country right now for to look at the respective achievements. You got to think, this is a team that has an A-bracket championship in the XFL tournament. They are the Maffle runner-up. You could say, okay, they haven't done anything since, though. What's been going on with them? OC, they were a semifinalist. They were very close. Missed kick at the end. Could have easily been playing for the chip against the Bulldogs.
Shit, bro.
I don't know how I do it either after all I've been through, dog. That's a fact. Let's keep rolling. They all Rebels now. This team, I like what the Rebels have done. I really do. You know, OC, they did struggle a little bit, but like I said, it was a competitive local tournament, and that was always going to bring the best out of everybody involved. You go back to what happened otherwise. I don't know if they were an AC, if not offhand. I don't believe they were. Correct me if not. My notes are not on me. So, but I did see them in Charm. They beat up on No Mercy, but I'll be honest with you, No Mercy was not really ready, in my opinion, for that first game. That was a very rusty team, I could tell. By the time they got to the Misfits game, No Mercy was ready to go, and they finished strong that weekend with a competitive game with the Scorpions. We'll get on them and many others next week. Long Island Ducks, they were the B champion. No. Jamie Lagana said no? Okay. I forgot already what I was talking about.
I don't even
yeah.
say that to
If Jamie Lagana wants to explain, he knows where the button
All
is.
in Lagana.
But like I'm saying, talk about the Elite Rebels. They've had a great year. They are definitely one of the teams that is going to be highly up there when it comes to that, both based on the fact of their achievements in both MAFL and when it comes to the XFL tournament. OC semifinals, that's still a Final Four spot. Charm City, they did not really make it out of the first round, but when you end up drawing the Strong Island Bulldogs early on, it's not really, yeah.
That's tough.
I mean, they did make it out of the first round, technically. That was the quarters, because there was that round before. But one and done, technically speaking, on Sunday. Did manage to get that bye, though, which does give you some kind of leverage when it comes to points in this. Is this a fun way of measuring? It's nothing official, just something I do just to give some input and analysis. We'll talk more on it next week. Long Island Ducks was the winner in B in that one. They beat Riot Squad in the championship. Very competitive B bracket, from what I remember.
Riot Squad was good that weekend, too.
Yeah, Riot Squad was on point. Ducks finally got a chip. People were talking for a while there. Long Island Ducks should be a sub. Or D line is sub, yeah. Sorry, my reading is off at this point. It's the light reflecting off of it, not helping. But, like, I like what the Long Island Ducks have done. Going back to that tournament, they managed to come out there and get a win. There was always perception on them. They were always in the thick of things, but never able to finish the deal. Always seemed to run into a certain team on Sunday that would beat them, but they managed to overcome that against Riot Squad. Big props to them for going out there and winning. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see much of that. And I honestly haven't seen the Ducks all year myself live. So that's something hopefully I could change soon.
Pretty good. Cool team to watch.
I love watching them. I really do. I go back to that Bad Boys game last year at Ocean City I covered with them. That was an awesome game. That's a game that needs to be played right now. Ducks and the Bad Boys. And I mean both Ducks against the Bad Boys right now. Because, you move on from XFFL, you go to OC. Strong Island came out. They retained their A bracket championship. They didn't have the best start on Saturday, but Butte knows better. Come Sunday, it was all about Birdman in that championship game. Clutch play at the end. Getting the ball off with the clock running out had to be at least a couple split seconds before that game would have been called. He got it out, threw it up, touchdown. Strong Island won that 19-13 over the Scorpions. One of the best games of the year. One of the best A championship games. And it's a shame not even able to talk about that game. But that was an underrated classic back in April. Deuce Dutch, I miss you, my man. I'll hit you up next time I'm in New York. What's up, Carasquillo? Shout out, Brandon. But no, OC was fun. I had a lot of fun at Ocean City back in April. My perspective coming out of that was Bad Boys and PME are going to be the teams that dominate B. And that was what it has been since then in that regard. We saw what Bad Boys did in Charm City. Yeah. I unfortunately did not get a chance to witness much day two.
Wagner, bro.
Yeah, Wagner's on a whole other level. We'll get to him in a moment. But OC, as mentioned, Strong Island beat the Scorpions. Scorpions were very close to winning that game. They just needed a little bit more time. And in the B side, PME beat the Bad Boys 27-21. Awesome duel back and forth between those two squads. One of the best games you'll see all year. It's on the 9-man page.
What are you talking about, Saturday?
Sunday, that was OC. That was a championship. Yeah.
Right.
That was a good tournament, too. A lot of teams made some deep runs. Gusto Land surprised everybody. Came out and beat the Titans on Sunday morning in OC. First thing to start the day. Got to the semifinals, but they've been struggling against the Bad Boys, whether it be 9-man or even up in Blick, they had problems with the Bad Boys. Gusto Land did. Gusto, what's going on? You and the Bad Boys?
Wagner, bro.
Wagner. He's getting revenge on all the York teams.
Wagner, bro.
Ray's on a whole other level. A quarterback for sure. We saw it a year ago in Charm City. We go back to that game with main event. Baez Auto had main event on the ropes. That could be a controversial statement, but it's a fact. It was 24-21 a minute to go. But guess who's at quarterback? Mike D. That's my Chris Berman impression. Sorry about that.
You should be.
Mike D drives him down the field, gets the game-winning score. I can't remember who called it anymore. I'm sorry. It's been forever. But that game stood out to me because Ray Wagner stood toe-to-toe with an A national champion team on a major stage on Sunday.
Wagner's legit.
With a Baez team who I've always given credit to what Baez Auto has been. A homegrown York YAFFL-based team with guys from that York area and great talent. And we'll talk about Baez Auto in a minute. But the bad boys at PME, they got something going on. I guarantee you there will be another matchup come Capital Classic.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be intense. I look forward to it. I hope to see another one in between some way or another. I don't know if Clash of York is going to happen or not, but if not, Capital Classic it is.
Even if you're kind of busy, that's one if you see it pop up on the live stream, you got to click on that thing there. That's a good one to watch. I guarantee it. Let's pull out the new Flair house.
Jamie, you're going to have to rename them Boone Auto now. That's just going to be what it is. Trust me, that man can win you chips. I know. We know. Don't we, Ross? Don't we know? Boone can win chips. You don't even know I'm looking right at you. I looked way too low. TVT looked way too low. Let's fix that real quick.
No, I won't turn that shit this way.
TVT, you know what it is. My bad. I was hoping you would recognize it in time. Smoke Auto, that's true. You got Dion there too.
Tell you fucking up.
I got another line, but I'm not going to run with it. That was a little too insider. Love to see that matchup again. Bad Boys great competition. Facts. OC though, not a lot of day 2 footage. I apologize for that. That's on me. I need to be everywhere. I need a second me out there. I need you out there again. I miss you out there.
Who that?
You and Tyler at the same time. It was awesome to have us all together in Trump City. That meant a lot. 5 years of doing all this together. Sorry, getting emotional. Let's move on. After that, we kind of been drifting around in league stuff all year, really. Like, we didn't really go anywhere further from there. I didn't go to AC. I was busy. Had a lot going on. Around here locally, we saw the Death Row Demons rise up as one of the best teams in league play. They went undefeated in the Washington County Flag Football League. 2 wins over the Misfits. No other team in this region has more than 1 win on the Misfits. Demons did it twice in one season. Big shout out to them. They're not travel yet. They got the talent and the tools to make it happen, though. We'll talk more on the Death Row Demons next week. OMFFL Scorpions, once again, your OMFFL champions. Triple overtime over the Misfits.
Yup.
Hey, I gotta give Misfits credit though. They made 2 championship games in a single season.
About a game.
They went through a gauntlet, yeah. And once again, another competitive championship game involving the Misfits. I'm gonna talk about Misfits for a second. They worked their fucking ass off every single weekend. They put in the most work out of almost any team I see out here locally. They're traveling all over, playing 2 leagues, Baltimore over here, county. You see them on the circuit. They put in a lot of work. They just keep falling short in the championship games. A lot of it's just one of those things. Like, can they overcome that? Will this be the fall where the Misfits finally get that chip? Because, you know, they already have 2. KFFL 19, County 20. But since the circuit move in 21, they don't got 1. They've been there. They just haven't gotten over the hump yet. I do think they have a shot, but they just got to get it going. They've been there in the thick of things, though, and I give them a lot of credit for that. Most travel team in this region by far. And they're easily like top 10, top 15, give or take, when it comes to this sport. We'll see where they're at next week, though, in terms of achievement. Spoiler alert, pretty high up there. Remember, they were number 2 last year. 2nd place on terms of achievement. Entering nationals. Keyword, though, entering nationals. Talk more on that later. Let's be honest. KFFL champion, Cramp Central. We forgot about that. Cramming the Demons unified KFFL and county and made it one. They're already undisputed. Four-state, tri-state, whatever. Washington County, I guess. KFFL, I don't know. It's county this season. I know that. It's going to be lit and legit. I'm looking forward to it. But they unified the belts, so to speak. This is like when Jericho did the same in the WWF and WCW back in the day.
Should have a belt.
That's what it should be. Hey, Moats, Sean, title belt for your trophy. Raheem Bell says Codex. Raheem, when are you guys getting in 9-man? Codex Elite needs to make that 9-man jump. Rhode Island is a little far, I know. I Googled it after the fact. But that is the next best one. But if not, y'all should go to Nationals. Just go out there, play any style, have fun, man. I love to see Codex Elite travel. That was a team we saw over the summer, too. YFFL 8-man. The Jungle Boys game. They got a lot of good linemen.
Yeah.
That Codex Elite team, in my opinion, needs to be playing 9-man. Buffalo, New York needs to get on 9-man. I love to see that. And that team up there, they got the linemen to definitely do it.
Do it. If you got the linemen, then do it.
You know who else does too?
Definitely takes linemen.
The Demons. Demons need to get out there.
It's hard to find good linemen committed.
They said they're at Nationals. Okay, I like this. I want to see them out there. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun fall coming up. You know who else needs to travel? Death Row Demons. They need to get out there too. I'd like to see a Death Row Demons Codex Elite game less than a year from now. It sounds crazy, but I'd love to see it happen. Continue onward. You know, down in Matham, they crowned a league champion. PME over Elite Rebels. PME had the drums taken away from them in week 1. Stored away and kept from them. But they got the drums back. And they banged that drum loudly. All through the D.C. area. Up 270 and 495. Down I-95. You hear the drums the moment you just drive right into Frederick County now. It's banging loudly for PME.
Oh, shit, Tivis is here.
Tivis is here.
Actually on
I
time.
agree. On point, too.
Tivis, this
There's gonna
show's
be a
from
problem.
last night.
Nah, we don't do pre-tapes anymore.
Uh,
We used to do pre-tapes, didn't we? That's weird.
No, we used to go live and then Tivis would wait till the next day to comment on
Oh,
it.
yeah, that's right. That,
That
too.
wasn't us, it was Tivis.
It was Tivis. Good times.
It's Tivis.
You can tell my memory's all over the place. You go back to it, though. St. Louis, they crowned their champion. NTB Wolfpack once again stood tall, beating Go Mode. Down in South Florida, it was Death Row as the champion over No Excuses. That needs to be a game. Death Row Demons and Death Row. Make that a matchup. Love to see them travel out there. Love to see how 9-man's growing right now. XFFL, I believe they had their champion, Chops, play. Looking forward to seeing the leagues. Rhode Island Lions had they won up there. They took that championship over the 148 Outlaws.
Yeah.
My memory's coming back to me, fellas. It happens to me that way. No KFFL this fall, Jamie. County and KFFL have merged once again for this season, except it's county and not KFFL. Kind of like your season, but I hope you all come back to Washington County. Hit up Moats, man. I want to see the Wolverines in Washington County. I'd love to see the Wolverines try to come down here and win again, because it's going to be a different year. It's going to be a fun year. You go back and look at what's going on right now in this sport. A lot of great energy. Take a look at AC. A bracket champion, High Rollers, came out there and took the championship over main event. Rollers have been on a roll for the last year. Nobody has really talked about this as much as they should, but the Rollers, you go back to Lydia's legacy last year. Runner-up there. A week later, they won Charm City. You could say maybe they haven't had the best finish in some tournaments, but you also go back and think they've won AC since then. Runner-up again in Charm City. That is a team that has done a lot. CJ Tarver, I believe, has the most 9-man A championships in this decade so far.
Can you go up there and start dunking on people on that YouTube stuff too?
Yeah, I believe so. I didn't get a chance to watch that video, but I really want to watch that.
I saw it
yeah.
pop up, but I didn't have a chance to click it. I was busy.
Technically, Ross, isn't there a Washington County in Pennsylvania? Reading your comment now.
Yeah.
See, that's what we're representing, the Washington County and PA.
See what I did there?
But we're playing in Franklin County because it's too far away to go up there. Rollers from where? I think they're from New Mexico. Something like that.
God just set me up perfectly.
This is me volleying.
I don't even know.
Continue on. B bracket champion, South Jersey Ducks. Them and Rampage had a really good championship game. One for the ages. Both sides were talking about it. To me, different players. I had a chance to watch a little bit of it. And I'll tell you, it was the summer of the Ducks. The South Jersey Ducks. They got two on the Long Island Ducks. They claimed their supremacy as the true Ducks of the North. They just got to come down here and play the West Virginia Ducks and try to conquer the Ducks of the South. But I got the West Virginia Ducks by a field goal, maybe. But the South Jersey Ducks are on fire right now. They've been tearing it up. Undefeated in A, undefeated in B. Back-to-back tournaments. ACB, Charm City A, undefeated. They're going to be up there really high in the rankings as well. They've been impressive every game I've seen them. You take a look at the resume. They got two on the Long Island Ducks. That is the same Long Island Ducks that was your XFL B champion. They got one on Rampage as well, who has been a force in the B division for the last year or so. I might be forgetting a few wins in that AC tournament, so forgive me, Mike and everybody else. I go back to Charm City, the performances they had. They beat the Punishers. They beat the Bulldogs. They came out there on Sunday, gave it to the Misfits. You had a chance to watch the South Jersey Ducks against Baez Auto. Excuse you. Sheesh. What's up, Boone? Sorry we hated on you 5 years ago today. I didn't think he was that great, man. It was a tight end formation. It really wasn't for him looking back. That being said, I wish we called it more often. But that being said, thank you, Boone. Here's some 3 championships. TBT. We're talking about Boone Auto, though, in a minute. That Boone Auto and South Jersey Ducks game.
Boone Auto.
Boone Auto.
Baez Boone.
The Boone effect. What have we told you all about the Boone effect since what, 2019 now? It just happens. You got to think. Baez Auto was very light coming into that game. They had some pieces, but they didn't have everybody. And usually when that happens, advantage Chris Boone. I've seen it firsthand. TBT beat Bullets and Rampage. It happens. And if you're the competition, you don't expect it. You just see 14 guys. It ain't much. And then the ball snapped. Game begins. And it's a whole other environment. Gave it to the Elite Rebels on Saturday. Held the Rebels to 6 points. Held one of the most vaunted offenses in 9-man to 6. Baez Auto on fire defensively early on. A lot of help coming in as well. You know Boone's got friends. He's got Dion and company coming in. Baez Auto was on a whole other level on that tournament that past weekend. A couple weeks ago at Charm City. I did not get a chance to watch them live. Wish I did. Got a chance to see some footage. They gave it to the Misfits on Saturday. Big offensive explosion. 20 straight unanswered to end the game. Baez on fire. And I'll tell you what. We talked about the performance last year at Charm City. I'm pretty sure this team might actually... The team we saw on Saturday and Sunday in Charm City, Ross, might be as good, if not better, than the one we saw at Charm City last year.
Who?
The Baez teams.
Oh.
Boone Baez versus Ray Baez. You remember. You had a chance to watch Baez on Sunday, actually, against the Punishers and the Ducks. What were your thoughts watching Baez Auto out there?
Look pretty good.
Familiar?
Yeah, definitely familiar.
Yeah. I want to see that team get out there more often with a little more pieces.
A mixed up familiarness, but yeah.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was awesome to see, and the display you saw on offense was one for the ages. I give Boone a lot of credit. He came out there having something he needed to prove. And he came out there and he shut down and shut out everybody with his performance on offense. Baez was came out inspired in that performance. The line blocking was on point. The defensive play was on point. Everywhere else was on point. I got no preference in beer. I do. Well, I have Miller Lite. You know, I do have a preference as well. You know, Miller Lite. But also Blue Moon Van Orange and Green Apple Angry Orchard. Don't judge me. Anyways. Baez Auto was on fire that weekend. And I really liked what they had. I hope to see more of that. Hopefully Capital Classic, we see that team out there again. I don't know if we'll see them in any league in some kind of team or fashion or what. But I really, really liked what we saw out there. Continue onward. If I'm recapping some of these tournaments and everything else. Going back to the other tournaments that happened in the summer. July had 2 open tournaments. We had Lydia's Legacy. Winner of that one was Team Lydia. CJ Tarver and company going in there and another championship. Shout out to CJ. Dominating. I seriously do think he's got the most tournament championships of any quarterback in the last, 2 years. He's been on fire when it comes to 9-man at that position. Of course, that's stating the obvious at this point. What else we got? Atlanta. We actually made Atlanta happen. I was happy to see that. Unfortunately, they had one dropout prior. Death Row had to forfeit their games. So it ended up being a 5-team tournament. But, everybody came out with their best and played some really good football that weekend. You know, I give a lot of credit to the teams who went down there from far away. Rideout, FOE, they came down from Maffle to help that tournament out. I give them a lot of credit and praise for doing that. It's good to see growth happening in 9-man in the South. Someone said it earlier. I can't remember the name offhand. I don't want to say it and butcher it, so forgive me. About how we need to get a Southern Circuit going down towards Miami or something like that. I think that's something that can happen in the long run. But you got to have the leagues down there, the structure down there. You got to have the tournaments down there. I've often said the biggest thing about growing this sport is you have to have a city, a state, or a territory that has homegrown teams first and foremost. And those same homegrown teams are willing to make the effort to make something happen. Whether it be a league or a tournament, traveling or staying home. And you also got to have teams willing to come down for that stuff, which can be hard. Because it's a lot right now. Money's hard. It really is. And 9-man, I'm applauding the effort that James Reese put into making that tournament happen. You know, Skinny, our guy, he tried to help too. He put in a hell of work to make that tournament happen. Unfortunately, he cannot get the commitment for that tournament. But I give Skinny props. He's one of the guys who's actually out there busting his ass to make this game grow.
Yeah, he is.
And I give him credit for that right now. But, you know, I give props also to Rideout and the Spartans for going out there. FOE, St. Louis Pack. There was also that BGE team, I think, from Birmingham or something. Sorry, I butchered it. I got all my notes on me. But, you know, I give those guys props. You had 2 St. Louis teams and 2 DC teams go to Atlanta to play in a tournament together. Just for the sake of getting that different competition because, you know, St. Louis, they don't get a chance to come out here very often.
Right.
They're not always at your local tournaments. You know, Preston Shivers went out there with Show Me Football at Charm City. They played tough defense, had a lot of close games. Him and Skinny are always trying to get St. Louis guys to come out here and play in tournaments.
Yeah.
And I give them a lot of credit for doing that. I'll tell you, it's a lot of work. And guys,
I still want to go to St. Louis.
I want to go to St. Louis. That's a pilgrimage. That's on my list. I'd love to be at there. You know, right now they just kicked off Arch City football for 9-man in St. Louis. I'm excited about that. They got a 9-man fall league for this season. They didn't have one last season. So they're going to have 2 seasons of football in St. Louis for the first time since 19. Really happy for them because Skinny's told us, their league play is the heart and soul of 9-man in St. Louis. It's almost like the NFL over there when it comes to how serious it is. And we see it. They're live all day, every Sunday. If you're ever not having anything to do, you're looking for something to watch, go out and go to Real Deal Sports. Go look up James Skinny Ward. Look up St. Louis 9-Man, Arch City 9-Man football. They got a great product out there in St. Louis when it comes to teams. They really do. I give them a lot of credit. And the St. Louis Spartans showed that when they came out there and went undefeated in that championship, 4-0. They beat Rideout in the finals. They smoked FOE. Gave them a lot of hell in that game. Spartans, St. Louis, they've been runner-up in nationals the last 2 years. They've been very close. Remember, they had to play PME this past season. They had to play the NTV Wolfpack, their hometown rival, as well.
Right.
They ended up getting to the semifinals and losing, I do believe, to the Wolfpack out there in St. Louis in that semifinal matchup. But they're a team that's out there. They're on the rise. They're doing a lot of great work out there. And I was really happy to see that Atlanta tournament take place. And I'm really stoked to see where that all goes. Because I think 9-man in the South would be a huge deal. We talk about it. And it's college football season. What area, when it comes to that sport, is the hottest when it comes to fan base, the players, the caliber of stars?
Right.
You talk about Ricky Jean-Francois out there, down at South Florida Flag Football Association.
Yeah.
That team he brought out there to Nationals, Category 5, Rakeem Cato, Tommy Schuler, two guys who I saw almost 10 years ago play in Maryland when they were both at Marshall in the Military Bowl. And that's the kind of talent that you can start seeing out there because the South has a lot of talent. Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Louisiana. And they love that physical kind of football style. I love to see it happen. Atlanta's a big step. I'd like to see more local teams get out there next year. That's the key to make it work, though. You need local support.
Yeah.
You can't rely on people coming in. It's hard. But I feel like it was a good thing for the Spartans, FOE, Rideout, and the Pack to get out there and get a feel of the teams they're going to play come nationals. Because they're not going to see these teams otherwise unless they venture out that way. And it gets harder and harder to travel, especially when you hit this fall season, when you now have the factors of kids football, high school football, semi-pro football, but the NFL's on, but college is also on, but your high school has something going on, but now there's a wedding happening, and it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Luckily, I'm past wedding season from us. Pretty much past.
I got one this weekend. Shout out Robert Ridenauer, former survivor, marrying my cousin Larissa. Big shout out to Robert and Larissa. Proud of you both.
I remember I had like 4 weddings in 1 year. Remember that?
You had a lot of weddings in a lot of
It
years.
was like 4 or 5. Like
I don't keep track. I don't keep track of that, but you know,
She was wild.
that's a stat for everybody. Ross Collins had 4 weddings in a single year in 2019.
That I had to attend.
That's my guess. It was
That I had to
19
attend. It might have been 19.
that he had to attend. Going forward now, keep us rolling. If anybody want to call in, feel free. Charm City Classic. You know Charm City?
Yeah.
That was awesome. I mean, if anybody wondered why I was kind of slow and lethargic and not there, I began my day by waking up from where I was and walking down cement stairs when my ankle decided to roll right. And I tried to grab the guardrail as I was falling down.
The rest went left.
Everything went straight down, and my knee hit the ground immediately, and so I kind of busted my kneecap open, and it was right where my knee bends at, so the entire day I was having a limp, which was the next 2 weeks. Nothing serious damage-wise. I just took a bad fall that morning, ankle rolled left. I missed the rail trying to pull myself back up. And somehow I managed to go out and film a little bit.
Those 40s, bro.
I was not drinking the night prior, sir. I say these for the end of the tournament and show night.
Falling down the steps.
Yeah, falling down steps. Probably shouldn't have been there.
Glad you had a life alert. Help, I've fallen and I can't
Oh
get
my
up.
God! Don't remind me, bro. I'm 31. Don't hit me like that. I'm
Glad
already
you had your
dreading it.
life alert on you, Joey.
See, this is something. Nah. Yeah, I can't say shit. There's guys playing flag in their 50s. Our guy Doc, 57.
Yeah, you were falling
Hey,
down steps.
John McGraw playing at 60. We saw him at YFL just win 8s, playing quarterback looking for Jungle Boys. In that tournament. We gotta get in shape, dog. We're doing bad.
Who's weak?
Just me. The Royal Week. Charm City Classic. B champion. Bad Boys. That offense is... Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
Ray Wagner was literally what
It's
that
fun to
offense needed. I agree with that, Crystal. That heat was not good. That was half the issue, I think, was like the heat and the Band-Aid and burning it and whatever.
Yeah.
Shit. Continue.
It was definitely hot.
Yeah. Bad Boys, it's crazy too because Bad Boys had that really bad Saturday game where, yeah, they went out and they beat Gusto Land again, but they followed it up with blowing a 21-0 lead with 2 minutes to go in the game. We talked about it. Classic comebacks in 9-man, 21 points. Survivors in Market Street back in the day, 21-0. Survivors fell down, came back and beat them 29-23. Warriors Broadaxe. Warriors fell behind, 27-6. Came back and won 30-27. But the Mercenaries were down 21-0 with 2 minutes to go.
Yeesh.
They didn't have 3 quarters like the Survivors did. They didn't have a whole second half like the Warriors did. They only had 2 minutes to get out of there. And they recovered 2 onside kicks for 2 touchdowns, resulting in a 22-21 win. Mercenaries over the Bad Boys. And you go, what happens to the Bad Boys from here? A 21-0 lead? Wow. Hold on. They play Killer Bees next day, and Ross Collins decides to cut the live off at halftime.
Hey, yep. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
No offense, Bad Boys whatsoever. But
That was, yeah, understandable.
I needed a break. It was the perfect time to take one. You guys went out there and did what you were expected to do.
And, you know, I
As far
still...
as I'm concerned.
And that being said, that's no slight to the Bees. They did hella work at Charm City. They beat the Baltimore Spartans. They beat Doc. I got to give them that. They beat Doc and the Spartans.
I was doing that Saturday. I was busy.
You had the coaching
cornhole
thing.
tournament.
Yeah, the fundraiser.
Yep.
Y'all's little fundraiser.
Yep.
You should do it at Charm City next year. But honestly, going back at it, Bad Boys were on fire. You talk about that Sunday performance. Gave it to the Killer Bees. That game was over in the first half. They were cruising already. But I'll tell you who gave them a fight. And gave them the best fight of anybody that Sunday. TMU. Turn me up.
Yep.
That team was electric.
Yeah, that was a good game, too.
Bro, I got to give them props. I ain't never seen a team come out there and perform the way they did with as little as they had, both number-wise, having to deal with the heat and the competition they had to face. TMU on Saturday did not win a single game. They had a tie. They had a loss. Sunday they came out there. They played the Mercenaries. First game out there. A very talented Mercenaries team. Where you look at that sideline, look at the players on there. There is a lot of experience when it comes to flag football. A lot of good talent who's been played in B championships and many times prior.
Like who?
Dallas First is on there. A lot of the old AFN core is on there.
Right.
Just to name a few. Now, what really hurt Mercenaries at times, 2 pick sixes is what helped TMU win that game.
Yeah.
They won 33-27. Hell of a shootout. Hell of a shootout.
Don't get you.
And then against Bad Boys, even though they had 14 guys coming into that game, and even though they're playing in dark gray shirts under the most direct sunlight field on the field and having to sit through an entire break, they're coming out there and they're taking the Bad Boys to the limit. They're holding Ray Wagner and company to 13 points entering the fourth quarter. Playing tough defense and playing an offense good enough to not turn the ball over and get points when need be. But in the end of the day, it's those Bad Boys. And they came out there and they got the dub. They beat TMU, but I give a lot of credit to this TMU team. This is the squad who, when rankings will come out, they're going to have a lot of praise because they have performed in tournaments all year. They're a team that has competed very well in that B division. And that's been with limited numbers, as we saw on Sunday in Charm City. They got that win on the Mercenaries, and very easily, forgive me.
It's the 40. Mm-hmm. It's the 40 talking back.
It is the 40 talking back. You're right. Could be a lot worse, though. Easily could have beaten the Bad Boys. Like, we're not talking about that. Get out of here. No corporate sponsorship for you. Bad Boys had a hell of a performance, though. You saw against PME what they did right afterwards. You have any recollection now of PME Bad Boys?
Oh, yeah.
Thoughts on that?
Wow, game.
Yeah. There was a lot of energy in that game, I could tell. Like, in your live, I could feel it.
A lot of energy. That's why.
A lot of energy.
I felt like it was best for me to just kind of be quiet and just soak it all in. You know what I mean? I feel like I was there to do my job live streaming for that game.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of let the players speak. There's a lot of energy in that game.
There was a lot of intensity in that game, and that's what this sport is all about, man. That intensity, the energy, the competitiveness. The guys going out there making the most of everything.
He went off, and he still lost. I felt that.
He had a great performance.
Felt that, Q.
Yeah. Bad Boys prevailed, though, in the end. I want to say 27-6 was the final there. Yeah. Their championship, they ended up playing against was Outcast, who Outcast is a team that I wasn't sure what to expect out of them. You know, a year ago, we saw Outcast in this tournament. At least I think it's the same guys. They had a wildly different uniform, I'll tell you that much, when Rob Lane was quarterback last year. But the squad they had this year came out, blue uniforms. They had a competitive game with Rampage early on. Got a win on Petty after that, and then made a run on Sunday. Got a win over Southside to get to the quarterfinals. From there, they managed to score a win as well. I can't remember who they beat offhand, so please forgive me for not remembering in that quarterfinal matchup. We were on the opposite side.
If
you
don't remember, I definitely don't remember.
Well, it was at the elementary school. We weren't there on Sunday, unfortunately. Yeah. We were all over the place. We apologize, sort of.
I was.
You were on field 2. I was on 3 because the A games were centered around there.
I remember watching the dog show up and being told they were at the wrong field.
Yeah.
After walking down the hill and then having to go back up.
Well, I felt bad for Outcast and the Titans because after they both played 2 games, they had to cross the street and move all their stuff to the turf field. And then because the Bad Boys were the high seed, they played the we want this field card, which they're allowed to. They chose field 2. As a result, field 2 was the championship field.
Nebraska. Nobody told.
So Outcast, because of that, had to go all the way from the elementary school to field 1 at the turf and then pick up their stuff and go back up the hill. They'd be running up that hill. And they had to put all their stuff down, wait a little bit, and then play the Bad Boys. And then at that point, Bad Boys just pounced. They were ready to go. They still had the energy. They sat there, waited a whole 30 minutes to an hour after their game ended. Came out with the same intensity, same energy. They gave it. Outcast beat FOE. Craig, thank you so much. What up, Troy? How you doing? That's another team performed very well lately, FOE. I like how FOE's been doing. Remember, they actually did Charm and they did Atlanta back-to-back weekends. That's a lot of credit. I've talked about that's a hard travel to make both of those. But they did it, and I give them a lot of credit for that. Hey, you know what? Take that time. FOE was the only team to play both Charm and Atlanta back-to-back weekends. Give them credit for that. That is hard. Remember, they're not from Baltimore. They're from D.C. So they're still driving that full hour up the road.
Right.
And then they're going to Atlanta as well. Recognition, respect. Big respect to FOE for doing that. Not a lot of teams would have done that. That's a hard swing to make. Even if it's one tournament hour away, that's still a hard swing.
Yeah.
But they did it. Give them a lot of credit. Outcast beat Titans. Hey, I'll give Outcast credit too. We'll talk more on them next week, but like they surprised the hell out of me in that tournament. And you know, Maryland Titans too. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Congratulations, Titans. They did it. They finally did it. The streak ends. They beat Rampage in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
They broke the jinx. The curse is broken. Got to give it to the Titans. Even though they didn't get the job done against Outcasts, the fact they overcame that hump against Rampage was huge.
That game against the Outcasts with the Titans was wild.
That was a wild game, yeah. One of the best games you'll see all year. Like a lot of great games in the Charm City Classic back a month ago. You go to the A-Chip, South Jersey Ducks, the run they had. Beat the Bulldogs, beat the Punishers.
10 men on the field.
Yeah.
That's wild.
There's some wild things going on a lot these days, trust me.
But even, I will say this, even as a live streamer, I count guys on the field.
Count guys on the field?
Just to see if you're playing an actual 9-on-9. You always have to do that.
I actually agree with that. Somebody needs to actually pay attention there.
And when I play...
But referees, too.
Oh, yeah, there's...
Devil's advocate. You know, you and I are... See, there's so many angles to this.
Yeah, there's plenty of fault for everybody here.
Yeah.
Everybody involved.
All right, let me ask you, Coach Ross Collins. If it's you as a Warriors coach, say 3 years ago... Huh?
Don't flip the camera around.
No, I'm not. I'm just looking at something else. If it's you as the Warriors coach 3 years ago, are you paying attention to how many are on the field?
You know damn well I am. That's like job number one.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Refs should watch too. But I see your point as well.
Even
that being said, 28-12, the end.
Even when I was playing, I would have somebody on the sideline count.
Would you?
Yeah. 100%.
I was impressed with the South Jersey Ducks, though.
I mean, yeah, let's not take anything away from
So I saw them against Misfits, and that was a mismatch when it came to the battle of receivers and secondary. That just... How was that game? I didn't get a chance to see it.
Dion and D. Martin on the same field is always a good time.
I listened to a lot of that audio, actually. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
I'm glad you actually got a chance to experience it.
I specifically remember D. Martin going, the only time I lost him, I played him shoot the kid. And that D. Martin voice. I'm just repeating what he said.
No, I've heard that one
that
before.
That shit was funny.
That was a fun tournament, though.
D-Mark's one of those quarterbacks you don't really...
I love watching D-Mark play.
You don't really want to talk shit to him too much because I think he just locks in more. He's
Dude,
one of those guys you always
great.
want to be like overly nice to.
He's fun to watch on the field, like watching that
playing
South
against
Jersey Ducks team.
Yeah, that's a fun team to watch.
Yeah, I had a blast in that Misfits game. I know you had a chance to see them against Baez as well.
Yeah.
I hope to see them again some way or another. Boo versus D-Mar, it's always a fun game. I had the privilege of covering that at East Coast Nationals for years
D-Mar
ago.
dropping down, so. Like that one, he just looped it up there.
Wow.
And landed in the receiver's hands. Next thing I know, he's going for a touchdown. Like, holy shit.
Stat about Mike D-Mark is that every 9-man tournament he's played in, he's at the very least made the championship, going as far back as the Corona Classic in 2020, the first Corona Classic, when he was Punisher's quarterback against the Rollers. The Bailey Tarver Rollers. You go back since then. Nationals, he won the championship over Punishers. Got to the championship at AC.
D-Mart to go.
Lost to the championship, but still got there.
D-Mart to Tom Brady. Nine-man.
Tom Brady and 9-man?
You can try to challenge me on that. I don't care who you are. He's a Tom Brady 9-man.
I still compare him to Kurt Warner in my head, but I think it's because of the 13 and everything else.
Yeah, there's similarities there too.
But. Yeah. But I'm also a Rams fan, so maybe that's why I see Kurt Warner more. I don't know how he feels about that one, though. You know how I feel, though? I'm ready for some fucking 9-man flag football, bro. It's been a while. We got a long fall ahead. We got league ball back. We got some tournaments coming up. Am I going to Nationals? I don't know. I'm broke as shit, y'all. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I've been busy. But I've been playing some games. I've been having some fun. It's time to get serious. This is a serious episode. This is a serious show. We got some fun ahead, Ross. We got rankings coming up. We got some videos. What's coming ahead? Am I going to be doing some games? Yeah. But it's going to be just a lot of, if I'm up for it, if I'm able to. Work takes priority. Personal stuff can take priority sometimes. I don't know where we'll be yet. We're working on something. I do want to do at least a game of the week somewhere, whether it be me going out to one league and filming a few games, 3 at least, 4 at most. Because, NFL is going to be on too. And I know a lot of guys want to just get ready for that stuff more so. Even I feel it. I'm a Rams fan. I got every reason to feel that way.
I like college football better.
Same with me. That's still on with Saturdays, college football. I got both football, NFL, flag. But you know what? There is nothing going on in the mornings a lot of the times before we kick off the league, is there? Let's have some fun. Like we used to. We got a lot of tournaments coming up between now and the end of January. And yeah, I know. They're all wait till November. But you got Rhode Island, you got Capital Classic, you got Nationals. I do want to do a Turkey Bowl, though. I do want to do Turkey Bowl. I've been busy, y'all. I've had a hell of a year.
Turkey Bowl sounds good.
Turkey Bowl sounds great to me.
I won't be around.
You'll be down to that lake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, busy man. I'm just ready to have fun again. Somebody said to me the other day, everybody has fun anymore. I'm like, we really don't. Life got serious. Flag football got serious. Sunday is the only day you should be serious about flag. And that's Monday day. The rest of it's having fun. Because having fun is what this game is all about. That's how you grow teams. That's how you grow players. That's how you make the most of this. Someone's been saying, a lot of people have been telling me some way or another. I'm just speculating, saying what I've been told. Is there fun still in flag football? Or are we too competitive? In my opinion, both. It's still fun. And yeah, we can't be too competitive. No one should ever be going and threatening to get a gun out from their car. Should never come down to that. Especially among teammates. I've heard that stuff happen. Guys on their own sidelines threatening to get guns on each other.
Yeah, we gotta chill out.
Come on, man. Come on. They don't get that serious even in the league. Professional players don't even get that serious in the league. Don't get that serious in real life. It should never come down to personal threats and fighting right there on the field. And honestly, though, it should come down, if anything, to having fun and winning. And people can say you can't do both. You can do both. You can have fun while winning. You can have fun while losing. Because if you're taking the game from an objective viewpoint, each game, day to day, week to week, is a new experience, a new lesson, a new journey, and something to build on.
What I found is yelling doesn't always work. It does work, but it doesn't always work.
But sometimes, not everything can work.
You just gotta look around, see what you got.
It ain't
Play
about...
to your own strengths and abilities.
You got to build what works for you. What do you want to do? You know, I had a captain. I'm not going to say who. Say to me the other day, like, why is there not really a lot of teams in 9-man right now? And I feel like a lot of it is you got guys who don't have any real long-term direction with their teams or what they're doing as a player. Are you coming out there to win tournaments? Are you trying to win A? Are you trying to win B? Or are you just going out to tournaments for the sake of, I want to play different people? But there's a place for that in this sport. There is a place for the rec division. I've been saying it for years. 9-man should have a C division. But it takes a lot out of a man's pride to say I'm a C player. And I fully understand that. Is there still a competitive side? Yeah, there should be competitive side too. There should be a comp division. This should be about trying to win and get better. This should be about growing into something more. Should there be a pro side? Yes. Because the best of the best deserve more than anybody to get the stage and spotlight and what they need to happen. You can't sit there and do anything against those guys. Because they're the best players in your sport. They're the ones that at the end of the day, they matter a lot. But so do the comp players. You know why? Because they're the ones still trying to compete. They're the ones still trying to grow. They're still trying to learn. They want to get better. Same for the rec players. They're there to play. They're there to have fun. We all have a place in this game. We all have a purpose in this game. We're all here for the same thing. We want to play football. Go out there and play your best. Have fun. Talk your shit all you want. Don't draw guns. Don't say some nonsense. Don't bag on somebody just because they beat you. But don't bag on somebody just because you beat them. Not all of us are here for the same thing. We're just all here to play some way or another. Win with grace, lose with grace. Respect the game.
Yeah, that's the ticket right there.
We'll be back next Wednesday.
Respect the game.
9-man rankings. We're going to talk every team that's played this year.
Oof.
Well, we're going to be better than we were last year, better. We'll see you next week.
We'll probably miss a few along the way.
Miss it on the way.